All right, here I am back on Tulsiology, and Tulsi Gabbard, who I'm sure got a lot of grief for this tweet. And here it is. My husband Abraham and I offer our best wishes and aloha to President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania, praying for their speedy recovery. We also send our best wishes to Ivanka, Tiffany, Donald Trump Jr., Eric, and Barron during this difficult time. Hashtag Trump has COVID. Over on the TYT, I don't even know what to call this guy. This guy is just the epitome of a moron. If my opponent shot himself in the foot, I wouldn't take down ads for gun safety. I would double them. Idea that Trump would return the favor is laughable. Don't play around with our democracy by letting Trump off the hook to prove to people inside the club how civil you are. So what is he mad at? Well, he's mad that Joe Biden decided to take down negative ads going after Trump. That's a really bad look to continue hammering while the president is suffering from COVID-19. Now, of course, they're going to throw back in Trump's face. And by the way, people like me who believe that these lockdowns are still draconian. Do you think I've changed my mind because Trump and Melania have it? No, I haven't changed my opinion on it. We'll see what happens with Trump and Melania. We'll see. We'll watch their progress, kind of like when somebody gets a cold or a flu. Typically, I think the percentage right now for Trump's recovery is something like 94%. Might be a little bit lower because I think the dude is probably a bit overweight and also a bit stressed out. Stress weakens your immune system. But imagine to have civility in our world right now, and that's why so many people are enamored with Tulsi Gabbard. And lately, people are speculating, well, maybe she's going to become a Republican. She's got all these right-wing tweets. She's offering, her best wishes for President Trump at a time where basically Chunky over there at TYT is saying, well, we've got him on the ropes now because, he's out there telling people not to wear masks. And he hasn't been doing that for the last few months. But yeah, initially, and I can tell you firsthand, I know Trumpers, and the Trumpers don't like the government telling them what to do. They don't like to lose their job. They don't like any of these measures that have happened. Now, I don't have the perfect solution to this problem. I would have focused on therapeutics, and I would have focused on science rather than speculation. If you've got a particle that's 1 micron and a hole that's 3 microns in a mask, do the math. It's not, and even on the box before they changed it, and then all the fact checkers ran in and said, oh, no, it didn't ever say on the box that it won't prevent COVID. Okay, well, it's funny because the mask companies are basically putting a disclaimer on their box. And then the fact checkers are saying, oh, it's true, but they misinterpreted what it says. Really, because it's a pretty easy read. It says it doesn't work or it might not work. And you're saying that I misread that because you have an agenda. I don't know why people are so excited about locking themselves up and wearing a mask. That's the point. You're not going to ever get 330 million people to do this unless you bring in authoritarians, unless you bring in the military. I'm serious. And if you start doing that, then all bets are off. Do we have a free country at that point? Are people allowed to make their own decisions based on their profile? Look at it that way. Your risk factors and so forth. So, again, there are a lot of Tulsi people that disagree with me on this, and I'm trying to have friendly conversations now with those people saying, do you really trust the CDC? Do you really think they have your best interests at heart? Do you see where a lot of this funding comes from? Do you understand that the fact checkers are all people that are funded by Gates and Clinton and Soros? Oh, you can't say Soros, but there you go. And these people here, they have an agenda. They seem to think neoliberalism. Okay, and this is a lot like people who say socialism doesn't work. Neoliberalism is worse than socialism in my estimation. You know why? Because neoliberalism doesn't do anything. It's not really capitalist. It's not really socialist. It's kind of crony capitalism and, socialism on paper or little bits. It's not even socialism. It's just, it's like payoffs for, various sectors of our economy. Again, the government picking winners and losers. And you may think, well, it's cool if they pick a winner who's into like solar energy. But what if that solar energy doesn't work? Is it just, it feels good, right? Because you thought you did something for the environment. All right. And you can go down the list of things like that. The left does it and the right does it too. They both do it. This is why our system is broken. And this is why Tulsi Gabbard, this lady right here, okay, she would have been she was the right person for the time that we're in. She was the right person. She empathizes with some of the cultural concerns that people in the center left, over to the right have. Human trafficking, for instance, ballot harvesting. I mean, because she can see that there's a train wreck coming. If there are boxes and boxes of Debbie Wasserman Schultz ballots, is this guy over here, is he going to say anything about that? No, he's not, because he just goes and discredits, well, it's Veritas, and we know that they're just a right-wing hack organization, and they selectively edit. Much like NBC, right? When they do their whole documentary on how trucks explode and so forth, and they blow them up themselves and they light them on fire. They do worse than selective editing. Selective editing is done in our media 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I'm not excusing Veritas, by the way, if they play the same game. I'm just saying, if you're going to discredit Veritas, you better have receipts. You better not have like the Poynter Institute or whatever as your fact-checking organization, because you lose all credibility with me. That is a globalist enterprise designed to gaslight Americans into thinking things that aren't true all day long. We fact-checked this and it's mostly false. Really? Okay, well, where are the receipts? I want to see how you came to that conclusion. Not that we're the authority on this issue. We don't like this particular thing, so we're going to fact-check it and prove that it's false. People have real concerns and they're being fed BS. So I give Tulsi Gabbard credit for being consistent. That's one thing she is. She's kind to people who politically may not agree with her very much at all. This is a weird thing in 2020. And this guy here is a loser, a tribalist. He gets funding from one of those types of organizations for his so-called independent channel, which is, there's no way. And then the other woman on there, Anna, she might be worse than Cenk. All right? And they're just vicious and, mask up and don't go outside in America. This is what, rather than say, you know what we should do for those people who don't think that we should be wearing a mask forever, we should really promote solutions, okay, in a way that allow people to still move around and breathe freely. But nobody ever looks at a compromise. It's this one draconian thing that we need to do. And again, you don't have to agree with me on masks, okay? I hate the mask. I would rather social distance like double. I'd rather do 20 feet away from anybody, all right? Anywhere, 20 feet, okay? But guess what? The mask, every time I wear it, I feel like I'm going to pass out and I feel sick. And psychologically, I feel like I'm being controlled. And you may not feel that way, but that's my take on it. And I'm pro-freedom, okay? And maybe Tulsi and I don't agree on this. My friend Dennis and I, we spoke about this in a video that we did. We both disagree with Tulsi on some stuff, but we understand that she is a needed person. She is a needed figure, political figure, unifying figure on the scene in the year 2020. And again, she was banned. She was blacked out. She was ghosted. All of these different words. She was slandered. And here we are in the home stretch. And no, I'm not going to let it go. That's why I have this channel. And even after the election, I'm not going to let it go. That's why I have this channel. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Some weird stuff is happening with subscribers. I'm thinking something is going on with the algorithm, or people are just being removed who are subscribing. So if you can subscribe, that's all I'm asking for right now. All right. Thanks again, and I'll see you soon.